Welcome back to Distorted Opinions, and I am here. I am Kayla, and I am with Matt and Ted this week, which I feel like it's been ages since the three of us.
We keep on saying this. I know,
but I feel like it truly. Well, I don't know. Maybe to the listeners and the viewers, it might not seem that way, given the way these have been released. But I feel like it truly has been. I don't know, like 3 weeks, a month, something like that, yes. Since the three of us have all done a show.
All three of us definitely would be close to about the 3 weeks, I'd say, which, I mean, a lot can happen in 3 weeks. So, yes. I mean, blink of an eye again for the listener, but for us, it's been a while. It's nice to be back.
Right. Yes, it is. And on that note, so by the time this drops, it'll have been a few weeks, but at the time that we're recording this, we just had a recent jam session at Ted's house. Matt unfortunately couldn't make it.
It's okay.
I couldn't make the first one back, but Matt had some partying duties going on. Yes, dad duties.
Yeah,
he had
some hardcore 2-year-old partying.
Nice.
2-year-old party.
Not acting like a 2-year-old party. Actual 2-year-old party.
Right. Yes. There's a difference. So we had the jam session, and as we've mentioned on the show, we've got a jam session text thread that we often exchange texts on, and one came through yesterday that I chuckled, or maybe it was this morning. I can't remember if it was last night or this morning, but I had to chuckle a little bit. So
apparently Harris, I missed a message. I'm gonna check my messages.
Did you not see it?
I don't know. Go ahead, keep on going. I'll look at it.
All right. So Harris,
was this a separate thread?
No,
I think it was the jam session thread. Because I think you, Matt, might have responded on it, but I don't remember for sure. Oh, no, it was just Harris. But you guys, I'm betting you probably saw it, maybe.
Is it the Mark Tremonti
text? It is. So,
all right, I did get it.
I have to chuckle a little bit here because Harris, who we've had on the show, we had him on for the episode where we talked about 5 Amp Fuse, which is a band you three were in high school, sent a text to the thread, and he had just heard Mark Tremonti's some of his solo stuff, and he had mentioned that he had never listened to it before because he assumed that it was going to be like Nickelback and Daughtry, and that he was pleasantly surprised with how good it was, and that he should never go back to playing with Creed again because Scott Stapp has terrible vocals, et cetera, et cetera. And it made me laugh because if you watched the episode that we did on football halftime shows, Matt kind of poo-pooed me a little bit for being a fan of Coldplay. And I have to chuckle because I'm like, it's amazing that we all get in a room together and we play music, because it seems like the taste, like who thinks what is good, is very drastically different, even still to this day. Because I kind of like Creed, and I don't know what you guys think of that, but early Creed I thought was very good.
Look, I downloaded songs off of Napster, a few Creed songs off of Napster.
Okay.
All right. Like I'm okay. There were some good songs. Like good rock riffs. Sure. I was okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, even the ones that are a little bit soft. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, hey, listen, My Sacrifice is a great tune. What else? One is a good tune, not to get mixed up with Metallica's One, but One's a good one.
Very different.
Yes, big time. And then of course you got you have every album has some sort of a ballad, like, and that was obviously with Arms Wide Open. Mm-hmm. But obviously we had some good, but that was also a nice song to do a crap load of parodies too.
Oh yeah.
So as we mentioned in a couple previous episodes, I'm curving my tongue a little bit, so I'm not going to mention some of the parodies that we've mentioned because it's definitely PA. But yeah, it has some sexual innuendos into it. We'll just leave it at that way.
Yes,
it's funny for sure.
Yes. So I don't know. I chuckled a little bit because he was like, "Oh, Creed sucks," but Mark Tremonti is great as a solo artist. And it's kind of funny because I don't know that I've ever listened to any of Mark Tremonti's solo stuff. I feel like they were playing one of his songs on AAF back in the day, but I can't even remember what it is. To give you any indication, I feel like his stuff is, in my mind, less memorable than Creed stuff. But anyway,
when I think of Mark Tremonti, I think of either Creed or I think of Alter Bridge. I don't really necessarily think of like he's a Joe Satriani, he's a Joe Bonamassa, he's a John Mayer. You know, it's like Mark Tremonti is always associated with a band. So I could kind of see where Harris is getting at with, hey, you know what? Maybe it's a different type of view because Mark Tremonti's had solo albums. Have I listened to them? No, so I can't really judge to say if it's good or not. But when I hear, Mark Tremonti, I associate with him with the band. Like if I were to associate Tom DeLonge, okay, it's either Angels or Airwaves or Blink-182. Mark Hoppus, Blink-182 or Plus 44, same type of thing. It's. Do we give credit, to those musicians that do start a solo project and whatnot? Yeah. I mean, take for instance, and Ted, I think you could probably answer this. Corey Taylor just came out with his debut album, and did you listen to it?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you listened to it. Whoops.
Okay. I don't know, because he was trying to go all over the map, and I mean, I don't know. I heard the first single that he was trying to promote with that, and I'm just like, it's so mainstream, like, I don't know, wanting to be, I hate to say it, I mean, whatever song I wound up hearing, I kind of, in my head, thought of, like, later Kid Rock a little bit, like just being like this center of attention, rock star type of, a bit of Flash. And I'm not, please listeners, don't get me wrong, very different people, very different music styles, even though Ba Wata Ba, I mean, that was classic for 97. Anyway, 98, something, whatever. And, but I just find, I don't know, his whole CMFNT or whatever his
Corey Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just the letters, and it's all in lights. And I know it was for like a video or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know. So I don't know. It's becoming mainstream, which is good for him because, I mean, the artists need to grow, and that's a platform he's never been on. Because when you start on the Slipknot stage and then you get to be on the solo career at such a higher level, you've made it because now you're mainstream, and that's where real money's coming in. But meh.
Yeah, it's different. There's Corey Taylor's a great example. Growing up, I've always associated Corey Taylor with Slipknot. And then when I found out about Stone Sour, listening to Bother from the Spider-Man soundtrack, I was like, oh, wow, he's in the side project. And then getting a little bit of history that Stone Sour is older than Slipknot. So I was like, oh, wow. So that was kind of like the first to be like, okay, two different types of genres, but this guy could sing, and it blends in with him. While there are some artists out there that they are in different projects, and it doesn't really fit, if that kind of makes sense.
No, I think his music, his new album, like fits. It's a different direction than any of the other platforms or bands he's been associated with, and now it's him as the lead. So yeah, he gets to do exactly what he wants, which is cool. Which is why I think it is such a varied list of tracks. So you have your rock and roll track, but then it has like the Stone Sour influence, not Stone Sour track, and then I don't know, it seemed to have like this more, I hate to say country, pop
maybe like
country,
a little bit of taste of Southern rock,
maybe, but that's very different. I don't know. It seemed
the Kid Rock type of country. Yeah. That's like,
kind of where I'm going with it.
I get where you're going. Yeah,
it's not. I mean, I love me some Southern rock. Don't get me wrong, but this is more of the country end of things than I normally listen to. So,
is it like Aaron Lewis country? Like, I don't know if you've listened to any of the Aaron Lewis stuff, but I feel like that's very different from the Stained stuff. It's more in a country direction, which is, I mean, hey, if it's working for him, but that's not necessarily my cup of tea. So I don't really listen to it. So I can see where, like, Corey Taylor, if you're accustomed to Slipknot and Stone Sour, going that kind of direction is definitely a little bit
leaving the circle
weird.
of my musical preference to a bit.
Sure.
So good for him. If it sells, it sells, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, true. I mean, you've also got Jerry Cantrell, who did some solo stuff, and except for Jerry's stuff, I feel like was still kind of in the same vein as Alice in Chains. Like, it's what I think you would expect to hear from Jerry Cantrell. So it's not really veering off the beaten path, so to speak. Whereas it sounds like the new Corey Taylor stuff is very much in a different direction.
Well, and again, it's a collection. It's not all in that vibe, but it's So you have one track that's heavier and like it's a mesh of multiple styles. It's kind of all the flavors of what he can do, kind of thing. Okay. So it's not completely pinholing him in that country whatever. Sure. There's rock stuff on there, don't get me wrong, but it's just more of a better showcase in what he's wanting to do. So but speaking of guitar players doing solo stuff, and who has a new album coming out, I believe it's Halloween, is John Five.
Yes.
The guitar player from Rob Zombie, formerly Marilyn Manson, and numerous other bands. But John Five is got a new album coming out, and he's been doing some like local tour things. Like, he's been touring around a little bit. But that's supposed to be pretty cool. He was on Mr. Carey's show 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that, kind of talking about the album. So that's one I'd be pretty interested to see. I'm not sure what style of music. I mean, follow his Instagram. It's
I was just gonna say,
his Instagram's fun, and he is playing ridiculous, like picking really quickly, but in interesting chord progression, scale, whatever. And then he's, I don't know. So I'm curious to see how that translates. But then we know Rob Zombie, and Rob Zombie's not what he plays on Instagram, which you don't have to play. You do it enough on the road, you can play whatever you want at home. But certainly interesting to see what it's going to look like.
I give John Five so much credit, and I feel like he's an underrated guitarist. Yeah, because the guy is so versatile in his styles. Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, and little note, Leonard Skinner. He did some work on the latest Leonard Skinner album. Huh. And
I didn't know that.
You think of John Five, and then you think of Leonard Skinner. Wait, what? It's like trying to have a peanut butter and tuna sandwich, but for some reason it makes it work. I'm not saying don't go try it. But again, such an underrated, guitar player. I feel like he really deserves a lot more credit for the work that he does. But I mean, that's not even scratching the surface. This is also a musician too that does a lot of collaboration, a lot of songwriting for not only just what's great about him is that he's got like a miscellaneous bag of styles. And when he's writing, which is something, again, one of the points I want to bring up, which I really respect, is something that he writes actually goes with that type of style of music, that type of, band. He may go ahead and step over the line a little bit, add a little bit of, John Five texture to it, but in the end of the day, he still maintains that same genre. And I can't help it. I think he's a phenomenal guitar player. If you don't know who John Five is, ladies and gentlemen, check him out. Do some YouTube, videos of him, and he's phenomenal. Plays a Fender Telly too.
Yes,
that he does.
gonna say look him up on Instagram because he posts a lot of videos of him just warming up and noodling around and playing different things, and he's really, I would agree, underrated. I honestly, I had no idea how good of a guitar player he was until I started watching some of his stuff on Instagram and seeing him play some stuff that's a little out of I guess the territory of what you would expect to hear with some of the bands that he's played with in the past. And then yesterday I was scrolling through and I saw this post and he's wearing one of those sumo wrestler inflatable outfit deals, playing this really, I don't know what it is, like it's a small guitar. I don't know if it's an electric travel guitar or what the heck it is, but he's playing this little guitar and it looks ridiculous, and he's got a Sphinx cat, the furless cats, at his feet, like grabbing at the bottom of the costume the whole time he's playing, and it looks ridiculous. Anyway, if you haven't checked him out on Instagram, definitely check him out there because he posts a lot of really cool videos of him playing some solo stuff.
One more fun fact on John 5 is that he recorded with David Lee Roth on the DLR Band album, 14 tracks, 1998. So he worked with the Van Halen group, or David Lee Roth in particular, but we did some work there and kind of helped get him off the ground, but certainly done a lot of studio work in, filling in and all of that for various bands. So pretty awesome.
So he's done, just looking up the best source of confirmed information, Wikipedia. Done
nothing
work
but quality
for Ozzy Osbourne, Paul Stanley of Kiss, Alice Cooper, Sebastian Bach, Al Adler, Beware of Darkness, Ace Frehley, Steve Perry, and he was also in films.
The man's done it all.
Yeah,
for sure.
Don't stop believing.
Steve Perry. Oh my goodness. No. He's a very good guitarist, so I highly recommend checking out his stuff. But I'm very interested to see this album that he's got coming out, to see what that sounds like. Another group I know that often gets kind of and I'll agree that I'm not a huge fan of most of their stuff, but Nickelback.
God.
There's
all right, we're going there. All right.
See, here we go. Matt's about to poo-poo on another. It's okay. So what was it Leader of Men? Was that one of the first songs they had come out? Like, what year
don't
was
remember.
that?
It was
Leader of Men.
2001.
Was it 2001? I feel like
I thought that was Silverback. Oh, well, maybe. Oh,
I don't know when it came out, but I feel like it was ages ago.
Yeah, totally, like 20 years ago.
Back ages ago at this point.
We're talking about their album?
1998.
Close.
When that came out. So I do like that song. I haven't heard that song in ages, but I do like that song. But then more recently, they did a cover of The Devil Went Down to Georgia, but they did it with guy I've talked about on this show before, Dave Martone, who's an incredible guitar player. And typically Dave does a lot of solo stuff, but he has played with Nickelback in the past. Very cool version of Devil Went Down to Georgia. And like probably one of the only recent Nickelback songs that I would recommend.
I'm surprised they're still making music. I thought they were just like one and done and people booed them off the stage and then they never came back.
Singles apparently is what they're putting out from the looks of just doing a quick Spotify search here. No, they put out a full album in 2020 called All the Right Reasons. Oh wait, but it says 15th anniversary expanded edition. So is that just like a re-release of one of their previous albums?
It's a re-release of 2005.
Okay, so then that doesn't count because
It's not anything new.
That's already. So then I guess 2017 would be the last time they put out an album, Feed the Machine, and I don't know if I have heard any of the songs off of that album.
So again, using the best of the best Wikipedia, it's showing that supposedly the 10th studio album, Mike Kroger, who is the bass player of Chad Kroger, okay,
Brother.
Yep, brother, spoke of direct quote. Spoke of his personal desire to move in a more heavy metal direction or wanting to do an album of Slayer cover songs. Ted, can you answer to that?
I mean, did it happen? I mean,
no, that's what they're wanting to do, but
I mean,
I feel like every time they release an album, there's all these claims that it's heavier than anything they've ever done before and that it's more like Metallica and Slayer. And I remember hearing that. Oh, geez. I don't know. Like,
I stopped listening to Nickelback in like 2002.
Yeah, I don't
like,
listen to them currently,
they haven't hit my radar for doing anything, you know, in the realm of heavy metal that I'm in my circle that I'm in. No one's raving about like, did you hear this Nickelback cover? Like, no, it's not Slayer. And even then, like, I don't know. It's not gonna.
You know, okay. So this is my problem with Nickelback. All right, I'm just gonna. Here we go. I'm being transparent.
I was waiting for it. We're getting to this point.
I feel Nickelback just feels like their shit doesn't stink. Okay, and I have a very big problem with that. Okay, because the problem is that it's just shit. Okay, it's crap. Kayla, you have to edit that out. Here we go. I pre-mentioned that I'm going to try to filter it and whatnot, but I'm sorry. It's not. Listen, that's like me, okay, trying to go into a death metal band. I'm not a death metal guy. Okay, I'm a classic 80s, kind of a little bit of pop alternative type of rock guy. Okay, even if I want to try to play like death metal stuff, it doesn't match the image. I might as well just put on a friggin' clown suit, okay, and try to play BB King or something like that. Again, doesn't make sense. So I feel like with Nickelback, it's like we're trying to be the best of the best of the best, and we're a joke. And the problem is that they know that they're a joke. It's like Limp Bizkit's stepbrother. Okay, they know that they're crap. Okay, but yet they still keep going on and on and on. So that's my. That's my thing.
I mean,
yeah,
yes.
Yes,
but at the same time, yes. No, no. I just feel like they're so radio friendly that they can't get out of their own way without being radio friendly. And while something might be heavier than they've ever played, it's like you said, it's kind of not in their nature for the group or whatever. It's never been any more than just a radio rock band since the very beginning, and that's kind of where they are, which it's not a terrible thing, but it's easy to hate on that because they're not really doing anything crazy or inventive. It feels like it's more play it safe, get all the listens, and we'll just move on. And we'll try to be edgier next time and try to grab like one or two fresh listens and lose them immediately because they're not.
Let me ask you what's worse, Nickelback or the Puddle of Mud live performances that they were doing on, what was that?
No, just that one performance where his voice fell off
it was bad. He tried to do what was the Nirvana song he tried to cover?
Yeah, that was horrific.
I can't think of the name of the Nirvana song.
Heart-Shaped Box?
Was it Heart-Shaped Box?
Oh no, I don't think it was.
No, I remember seeing that video, and
it's cringy.
It was so like
about a girl.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah,
it was so bad. It's so cringy, and you know that he can sing better than that, and that he just was yelling at the top of his voice that he fell off the other side, and was just off key, and it was hard to listen to. It was really bad.
Yet somehow I watched that video like multiple times and laughed and laughed.
I got about 30 seconds in. I'm like, oh, I heard everything now. All right, I'm stopping this right here.
You know what else is a good laugh too is listening to Chad Kroeger and Avril Lavigne do a song together.
Oh God, I forgot they did that.
Yep, I call it the Bennifer effect.
They were engaged or something, weren't they?
Married.
They're married? Really?
They were. Past tense.
Oh,
Goes to show how long that lasted.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I ever heard the collaboration on that, but I can only imagine. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge Nickelback fan, but all I'm saying is if you're going to check out anything they've done recently, the Devil Went Down to Georgia cover is good, but that's largely because Dave Martone is playing guitar on it. And
okay, so
butt.
you like it because Dave Martone's on the song.
But it's good because he's on it. Like I feel like if they tried to do it without him, I feel like it would not have been anything worth listening to.
So you like the song because Dave Martone's on it.
Okay, sure. Yes.
Would you like it if it was just straight Nickelback though?
No, what I'm saying is probably not, because I don't think they could have pulled it off.
Oh God, no.
Imagine the fiddle parts being played on guitar. Could you picture anybody in Nickelback being able to play those parts on a guitar? Because I've never heard any of those guys play independently, but I feel like they couldn't. I don't know.
That's fair.
Personal opinion. Just saying. So go ahead.
Change of gears. Talk about new songs. Have you guys listened to the new Limp Bizkit song yet?
There's new Limp Bizkit.
There's a new Limp Bizkit song.
Dad Vibes.
I thought there was a name of their album coming out.
I don't know. Fred Durst looks old as heck.
It's a wig, confirmed.
Well,
he doesn't have hair. He's just got his baseball cap on backwards in the clip. I haven't listened to it yet, but I have seen this the past couple of days. YouTube recommendation, and I'm like, Limp Bizkit, huh? Dad Vibes, new song.
Dad Vibes.
Is it up there with the new Guns N' Roses as far as like?
I haven't listened to it yet. I couldn't tell you.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, here goes.
But that's another one. I mean,
I now I gotta know, so I'm gonna play just enough of it to. What in the world? Okay, if this is Limp Bizkit,
it's gotta be a meme.
Like, kind of a different direction, even for Limp Bizkit. It's more in the direction of rap than it is rock.
Well, it's the new metal rap.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I'd qualify it as new metal, to be honest. There's nothing to it, nothing about it to me that sounds like rock,
because it has
metal.
like a little bit of guitar in the middle of it, like for the chorus bit, which it makes it very much, I don't know.
Okay.
What are their other tracks from the very early years? Not
totally
Significant Other, whatever that other album is. Like it's a
Chocolate Starfish.
Yeah, well, it was before that album. So that's different and new. That's outrageous.
I thought they were done at this point. I didn't think Limp Bizkit was doing anything.
A festival. Like there's
really?
a weird, they just showed up to a festival recently. Like there's some weird demand for Limp Bizkit to come back. So the fact that they're putting out a new song is not surprising.
There are a lot of people in the comments over on YouTube that are very excited that there's new Limp Bizkit.
There it is.
Out.
All I'm saying, they just played, I think, 1 or 2 shows at a festival or something in, I don't know, one of them was like California or whatever over the summer, and now there's this like rehype for getting them back out and playing again. I mean, to be fair, nostalgia. I mean, that's
True.
in 20 years, and people have more money years later, willing to pay more for a concert ticket. So
it probably also helps if you were a fan of Limp Bizkit to begin with, which I wasn't a huge fan, but this dude in the comments that's like, we want 2000 rock back. I'm not sure that 2000 era rock was necessarily some of the best rock music. My personal opinion, that's not the era I'd go for, but
it doesn't need to be modern day all the time.
Yeah,
I've moved on. That's where most of my music, like our library, sits in that era. Like,
yeah. I mean, your wife was hassling you over the fact that your Song of the Week picks have all been.
I've been moving up in the ranks from being far more modern.
Well, okay, I think on the defense though is because the old songs are better than what's really being produced out today, or what is good being produced is not getting the recognition that it deserves.
Yeah, I wonder would this be popular if it weren't Limp Bizkit? Again, it's kind of like the Nickelback thing with Dave Martone. Would it be good if it weren't for the fact that it's Limp Bizkit and people know Limp Bizkit?
I think it's a subtle.
Because that only is Limp Bizkit because you know Limp Bizkit and know the catalog that already exists. Right. Yeah. And that's where you can start pulling in the ties, and it's like, oh, this is new and hip. And then if this was new standalone, it might never make it to the surface. It's because they got the name next to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Dad vibes.
I don't know.
I'll have to listen to
15 seconds I listened to. I'm not completely sold either, but
hey, listen, I'll listen to a new Limp Bizkit album over a Nickelback album. Just call it. Yeah.
As long as they have the same drummer and that same drum crisp sound. As a drummer, love the drumming on Limp Bizkit and Deftones.
It says here Marilyn Manson drummer Brandon Pertzborn filling in on drums. I don't know if that was just for when they were touring. I'm guessing, what was his name? Wes Borland? Wes Borland. Yeah, Wes Borland. I'm guessing he's probably not playing with them anymore. And then wasn't it Buckethead that took over after he is?
He still is.
Really?
Yep.
I'm going to have to listen to this song because I didn't really hear much guitar in there, so I'm not really sure. It's only in the
chorus, and it's heavily produced.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, well.
I won't go into my thoughts on Wes Borland because that might upset some people, but we'll just say that I will mark this for listening later to give it my undivided attention because I only listened to a few seconds of it just now while we were doing this, and
I think we need to recap our results on the next episode.
Yep.
I agree.
Well, listen, and then we can give a better review on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. We could definitely do that because I didn't realize that Limp Bizkit was back doing tours and producing music again. So this was I think this was breaking news to me.
Their toe back in the water and finding that there's still a demand for it. So
sure,
there is.
All right. Well, should we do
the Song of the Week?
Yeah. Why don't we get into that? All right. Do we have a preference? Who wants to go first?
I'll just break the ice.
All right. There we go.
Kind of going back to what we were talking about is old songs. I'm choosing an old song.
Okay.
So,
is it Nickelback?
And I'm done. So
photograph.
Look at this photograph. They can go and kiss my ass. Okay, I gotta be nice. I gotta be nice. Gotta kiss my bum. Kiss my bum.
It's not Nickelback. Right.
So sometimes I get into like these, like I always try to start the week off always on a good note. And sometimes when it comes down to that, I always pick an album. And this week's album, I'm actually hitting up, going back to the 80s, specifically because you can't help it. It's a phenomenal album. It's his 9th studio album. I'm going with Billy Joel off of the 9th album, An Innocent Man, okay? And specifically going with Uptown Girl. She's been... Listen, it's an upbeat tune. The video is hilarious. Pays a homage to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. This whole album, what's special about this album is that multiple hits on there. Ted, we sang this back in the day when we were young, not old now, but The Longest Time was on there. Tell Her About It, An Innocent Man, and finally Uptown Girl. It's funny. I always have this vision that sometimes music videos respond to each other. And I feel like Uptown Girl is a sequel to Bruce Springsteen's I'm on Fire. And I wrote it in Reddit. Happy to go ahead and share it. It tells the whole story. It's too lengthy and whatnot because we're on a time crunch and whatnot. But pretty much in a nutshell, it's kind of like a sequel or response to Bruce Springsteen's I'm on Fire. But that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going with Uptown Girl. It's just a great song. It's a great video too. And it's off of the 9th album from Billy Joel, Innocent Man, released in 1983. And yeah, other than that, that's my tune. Uptown Girl. Get your wrench. Who's next?
All right. Well, I suppose I'll take it. I was shamed into not listening to any new music, and I find that appalling because I do listen to new music. And to point out that I do listen to new music, I have a brand new album that came out August 27th.
Dad
so
vibes.
It's literally been a month. And no, it's not Limp Bizkit. This band was founded in 2010. And they're out of Maryland. It's a hardcore punk band that is currently signed to Roadrunner Records. This band just put out an album called Glow On. The band's called Turnstile. And the whole album's phenomenal. And I've listened through it. It is so catchy. My favorite song and the song off of this album there's a couple that I really had to go back and forth to try to figure out which one's going to be the best one. Alien Love Call is super good, but I have to pick Holiday because Holiday is amazing and just so catchy in the chorus. Even though the song is not even 3 minutes long, actually, off of all of the longest song in the whole album is 3 minutes and 5 seconds. So it's super short. I wish the song was longer, but I suppose I could just put it on repeat because
I was gonna say, that's what the
chorus
function's
is
for.
Outrageously catchy. And it's, I don't know, the vocals have some good harmony range to it, but then just I think the chorus is where it all comes together and you're just sitting there and your head bopping, and I don't know, give it a listen, won't be disappointed. Super catchy. And the band's called Turnstile, and like I said, brand new album. Go check it out.
Awesome. I look forward to listening to that one when I edit the episode. And just as a reminder to our audience, in case you didn't already know, we have a Spotify Song of the Week playlist. We put our picks every week into that playlist. We put the link in the description to every episode. And if you're watching the video version, we also put a scan code on the screen. All you have to do is open up Spotify on your phone or mobile device, and in the search bar, tap the little camera icon and hold it up to the screen, and it will scan the code and take you right to the playlist. We'll put this week's picks in there, and you can check out all of our past picks as well. And I don't know, my picks have been kind of all over the place the last few episodes, but I think they've mostly been newer stuff. I'd have to go back through the list because I honestly don't remember what I've picked at this point. The song that I picked for today is actually a song that I just heard today because my playlist I was listening to on Spotify ended, and then it starts playing suggested songs for you after that. And I heard this one. I was like, this is pretty catchy. This is going to be my song of the week. So the song is Down for the Fifth Time by an artist. And I don't know if it's pronounced Flamingosis or Flamingosis.
Sounded like you said the same thing.
Flamingosis or Flamingosis. I don't know. Flamingosis.
Yeah.
It looks like Flamingosis to me.
Sure.
So it's
not to be
by
confused with
Flamingosis.
Framboos.
Who?
Not to be confused. Definitely
Framboos,
not.
also known as
right.
raspberry.
No, Flamingosis. 2015 Pleasure Palettes, the album. Again, another one of these songs that's been out for 6 years now, and I'm just now discovering this. So again, I heard this on Spotify today. It's actually most of it is sampled from Down for the Third Time by Bobby Caldwell off of 1978 Clouds, which explains why when I heard this song, I kind of got an immediate soul R&B vibe from it, because it's basically a 1970s R&B song that's been sampled, but this version has a nice funk, soul, chill vibe to it, and it's, as always, got some cool guitar, which is kind of what roped me into it in the first place. Most of it is pretty much the Bobby Caldwell version, but it's been slowed down and it sounds like it's been pitch shifted a little bit. So it's actually slightly higher in pitch than the original version, with some electronic elements added. And I didn't know anything about this guy, Flamingosis, until today. I looked him up, and as per his bio on his website, it says he splices together old school soul, wild funk, and DIY electronic with a radiant message meant for any moment. He's a New Jersey native based in Brooklyn, and he's been releasing music since 2012. So this is definitely not one of the first songs he's ever released, but it is a very cool track. I highly recommend giving it a listen. Down for the Fifth Time by Flamingosis off of 2015's Pleasure Palette. And on that note, I'll do the usual reminders to everybody that if you've got an idea for a future topic, or if you'd like to be on a guest on the show, or if you're an artist who has a song out there and you'd like us to give it a listen and talk about it on the show, reach out to us and let us know. There are a few ways you can do that. You can head over to our Anchor page at anchor.fm/distortedopinions, and you can leave us a voice message there. You can also find links to our social media platforms. You can find us on pretty much any podcast platform out there by searching for Distorted Opinions. We're also on YouTube, and the link is still a really long, ugly, not custom URL. And if you would like to see that change, Matt has issued a challenge here that if we get to 100 subscribers, or 100 subscribers 50 over on YouTube, he will play the Home Depot theme song at a Home Depot. And if we get to 150, he will play the Home Depot theme song wearing skin tight shorts, a skin tight tank top, and his wife's Ugg boots. Again, don't know whether or not that is a reward to people. If you just want to see Matt do something embarrassing, then please tell your friends and family to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Just do it. Make multiple. Listen, I have no shame. I'm doing it for I'm doing it for you guys. Okay, we need a custom URL. So I'm a man of my word. I've said it in the previous episodes, and I'll still hold on to that challenge until we reach at least 150. Once we get to 150, trust me, you think this is embarrassing. Wait till we pass it, and then I'm going to propose another one.
Oh boy, he's up on the stakes here, people. So
it's all up to you,
subscribe.
Though.
Subscribe and tell your friends and family to go subscribe. Just search for Distorted Opinions on YouTube and you'll find our channel over there. Either way, you're going to see Matt playing the Home Depot song, whether we get to 100 or 150. It's just a matter of how much you want him to embarrass himself. So if you really want him to embarrass himself, make sure to tell your friends to subscribe. We've also got an email address, distortedopinionshow@gmail.com. You can send us an email. You can leave us a comment on any of our social media platforms. We love to hear from our fans and our listeners. On that note, we thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode next week, which I believe is going to be our Halloween special. So be sure to join us for that. So we will see you then. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.